Buccos.
We welcome you into another Tuesday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. Both sporting our colors, the Phillies and Penn State Wrestling had pretty good weekends, and we will talk about that. The Phillies beating up on one of the better minor league baseball teams out there, for a Double-A team anyway.
State College Area All-Star Travel Team.
The beloved Buccos just cannot. I think we are up to, is it 23 or 24? I think it's 24 games now that they have gone scoring 4 runs or less. It is truly amazing in this day and age of Major League Baseball that you could have an offense that is so offensive as the Pirates are. Just a brutal. We weren't anticipating it, but still brutal to have to sit through
Friday
and watch. Friday was
scored 5 with what, 2 hits?
1 hit.
One
hit in that inning. Yes, I mean it is. What was that? The 7th, I think, on Friday. The Bucks turn a 3-1 lead into a 5-3 deficit via 1 hit, and
hits, batters, the bat balls, walks.
So the Mad Turtle and Matt Turtle had he has his climbing class, rock climbing class on Friday night. So we're heading home. We're listening to it, and then we watch it, and. Even we had a little discussion. I'm like, if your little league team did this, I would not be happy with your little league team. I'm like, this is beyond the pale that a Major League Baseball team goes through 3 pitchers, each of whom walk in at least 1 run. They plunk a batter. I mean, it
was awesome.
It was unreal. Like, it's one of those, like, you can't believe what you're actually witnessing.
So I'm in my head right now. I'm going through the weekend. So other than the Saturday night 2-run home run in the 9th, you scored 3 runs the whole weekend.
Yeah,
like you said, you don't think they're going to average more than 2 runs for the whole weekend per game. So other than the 2-run late, right? But they should have won Friday. And then they have, I
don't know about should have, could have,
but Sunday was horrendous.
Well,
Saturday was Saturday. It was okay. I get it. But Sunday, I mean, Skeens, a 3-hit complete game. Shut up. He gave up 1 run.
Yeah, there were several, in my mind, inexcusable things that occurred over the course of that series. And they've been occurring all season long. But you cannot be looking at called third strikes when you are this bad offensively and you are in this great of a need of some sort of a spark. You just cannot be taking anything close once you have 2 strikes. You just can't. And yet they do.
Hold on.
But also, some of the swings at pitches that are wildly out of the strike zone, it is really unreal to watch. And again, I get it. Sometimes a pitcher, just is on. Sometimes this, sometimes that. There's great movement, all of that. You cannot, as a major league player, a major league batter, be swinging. If you go back and look at some of those, it's not like, oh man, boy, he just missed it, just swung over or under. Like, if you look at it, they're swinging like a foot above where the ball is, or a foot below where it's incomprehensible how you could be in Major League Baseball and be that bad at trying to hit a baseball. And it's hard enough for the guys that are really good at doing it. And it talks about it. You fail a lot more often than you succeed. But my God, like, you just feel like they don't have a chance a good deal of the time that they are up at the plate. Just very frustrating.
It was awesome.
Very, very frustrating.
I was completely content with everything that went on.
Yeah, and the Phillies got another big win over the Rockies that last night. Rockies, I thought, had
dominating
your Phillies,
the Quad A division in Major League Baseball.
Possibly on the ropes for a little while in that one, but the Phillies end up putting it away over the last couple of days. They
officially have the best record in baseball right now, today.
Is that right?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't realize
Mets
that.
came back a little bit. Mets came back again a little bit against the Yankees and the Dodgers.
That
off
is
the few.
for sure.
So, yeah, all in all.
I didn't realize. I knew you had gotten back on a bit of a roll. I haven't been paying.
Yeah, I was watching last night. Like, can't lose to a team that has 7 wins this season. They
have 8 now.
8-40.
You get close to it.
And then the Phillies just went off in the 8th inning.
Yeah. Yeah, my question is, are the Rockies going to get to double-digit victories before Memorial Day?
That's tracking this. You said it to me last week, and I was like, I never heard of that. And then I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, I can see that not happening.
It is. Again, they only need 2 wins. Like, that's on the one side. You're saying, well, dude, they have basically 2 weeks to get 2 wins. And I'm like, yep. And I've been watching them, and I don't think that's a guarantee that they get 2 wins in the next week and a half or so. I'm looking at. We'll see.
The Buccos are playing Colorado. They got 6 games of them this year. I mean, what?
Yeah, that's going to be
high end ball right there, buddy.
TV there, or must listen radio.
I'm trying to find out
in our
how bad are the Chicago White Sox this year.
They're bad, but they're not Rockies bad.
They're not Rockies bad.
No, them and the Pirates are pretty comparable.
White Sox are 14-34. Yeah. The Buccos are 15-33.
Yeah.
So they're right up there.
Well,
Broncos are 8-39. Oh my Lord.
It is just brutal. A couple of programming notes here, just real quickly for those locked in here. First of all, we are having some transmitter issues with the radio station. Continue to work to get those resolved. We're having to get a particular piece of equipment in, and it's been very difficult to find. So we're working feverishly to try to get that resolved.
Tariffs.
In the meantime, what we have coming up, we had some high school baseball playoff action, District 6 playoff action scheduled for tomorrow and Thursday. Because of the expected weather tomorrow and Thursday, the Quad A and 6A district championship games for both baseball and softball moved up to today. So State College baseball is playing coming up at 4 o'clock at Mount Aloysius, and softball will be playing at 5:30. Those will be in the 6A championship games. Bellefonte baseball will get underway at 4 o'clock this afternoon against Mifflin County. That game will now be at Governor's Park in Bellefonte. So change of date and venue for that one. So Bellefonte and Mifflin County in the District 6 Quad A baseball championships at 4 o'clock this afternoon at Governor's Park. And then at 4:30 at the Bellefonte Middle School will be the softball game against Juniata. I have that mixed up. Bellefonte, that is right. The Bellefonte softball against Juniata. Bellefonte baseball is also against Juniata. It's State College baseball that has Mifflin County at 4 o'clock at Mount Aloysius, and then State College softball against Altoona at 5:30. As I was saying that, I knew I wasn't saying it right. And so, anyways.
So the rainouts catch up to you, bud.
Yeah, Bellefonte baseball at 4 against Juniata at Governor's Park. Bellefonte softball at the Bellefonte Middle School at 4:30 in the 4A championships. And again, District 6, 6A championship action at Mount Aloysius. State High baseball versus Mifflin County at 4. And then at 5:30, it'll be State College softball against Altoona. So just a change on the scorecard there. So we will not have any high school coverage the rest of the week. Just couldn't get it worked out for today. we will have, and we're very thrilled to have, and we'll spend a little bit of time here talking about it. The Penn State men's lacrosse team is into the NCAA Final Four. The Nittany Lions will take on the number 1 seed and the number 1 ranked team in the country, Cornell, on Saturday at 12 noon at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. We will have Westwood One's live radio coverage right here on Sports Radio, 98.7 The Fox, and our stream. So that'll be at 12 noon on Saturday, following Jed Donahue's show, which will run from 8 to noon on Saturday. And then we will have the national championship game, hopefully, and we are confident Penn State will be in that championship game. Either way, on Memorial Day, we will have the NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championship for you. Coverage will get underway at 12:45 on Monday, on Memorial Day, and the game will get underway at 1 o'clock. It'll be the winner of that Penn State-Cornell game against the winner of the Syracuse-Maryland game. Syracuse and Maryland will square off at 2:30.
No history in that game.
In Foxborough on Saturday. The win for Penn State against Notre Dame, did you get a chance to watch it? So it was, we had another event, and so I knew we weren't going to get home until probably around halftime, and that's exactly when we did get home. We got some other things done, and so I get home Sunday afternoon at, I don't even know, 1-ish, but it was halftime.
Flip-flop between the Phillies, Pirates, and the lacrosse.
No, I am listening half-heartedly to the Pirates, because I want to see, how Skeens is doing.
Absolutely.
And Skeens is being Skeens, but the Pirates are being the Pirates, and so that's how that played out. But I'm watching the game, and I'm listening to a little bit of the analysis, and it's like, not a great first half. It didn't sound like for Penn State having some trouble getting the offense going. I'm like, man, if they can, I was really hoping they could close the gap to within 2, and they come out and boom, 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 get goals, get the momentum going. And then they give up a goal and they take a bad penalty. And it's like, oh my gosh, they just gave all of this momentum away. They got right back into it. And now it's out of hand again, 12-6. And I'm like half thinking, do I really want to watch the rest of this? I'm like, yeah, I do. I'm like, but now it's going to be almost impossible. The way this Notre Dame offense is humming, like, we're going to have to somehow get 2 for 1, 3 for 1, somewhere along the way. Well, how about 8 for none?
Yep.
Which is what Penn State did over the final 20 minutes plus of the game. It really was unbelievable what Penn State was able to do, and the way they completely flipped the script in the game. And it wasn't, it was both ends of the field doing an extremely effective job. They did a great job with the turnovers, creating turnovers. They did a great job cashing in opportunities on the offensive end. And you could see Notre Dame start to tighten up as that fourth quarter started to play out. And it's like, oh my goodness. When it got to 12-11 is when it's the first time I'm really like, even at 12-10, I'm like, man, this is cool. But I felt like you knew Notre Dame at some point here is going to answer, and then can Penn State get that other gear? Well, they never were able to answer. And again, it was a tremendous testament to Penn State and the pressure they were applying. And their ability, again, to just cash in on the opportunities there in the fourth quarter. So Penn State rallies from what was a 12-6 deficit with under 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter and turns it into a 14-12 win over the two-time reigning NCAA champions. I hate the term, and they used it, and I do it every now and then, even with Penn State wrestling. It is not defending national champions. It is like in UFC, you are a defending champion because you're defending the title when you're out there. Notre Dame won the titles last year. They're not defending it. Those titles are in the books, and they don't have to defend them. They will forever be the 2023 and the 2024 national champions. They're not defending those titles. Those are theirs. They keep them. Pursuing another title is what they are doing. It's not. They are the reigning champions. The program is the reigning champion, but they're not defending those titles. Those titles are
call that a first world problem there, Jeff.
Yep, we'll keep
call that
those,
a first world problem.
They keep those titles no matter what.
Yeah,
that's not even a problem. They have. But Notre Dame, again, under a lot of pressure from Penn State, did wilt, and it was really impressive.
I
to
was
watch
waiting.
What Penn State did.
Waiting, because you see it enough in sports of big comebacks where you gave everything you had and it's like you're done. You shot your shot, and now you're pretty much wasted, and you're going to be hanging on because late in that game you'd think Notre Dame would be pressure. Penn State should have been tired because of how well they had to play and how much they had to play in that last 20 minutes, but it didn't happen. It just didn't. They just didn't stop. And Notre Dame had nothing to offer. I mean, they couldn't even get a shot off the last minute of the game.
No,
when they were forced to take shots, they still couldn't get them.
Well, and it is harder to defend. Like, you get more tired defending than you do in soccer or lacrosse or any of those games, because when you're on offense, I mean, you might be expending the same amount of energy or even more energy, but that adrenaline is pumping. You're feeling good. You're setting things up, and then mashing in the way Penn State was. Right? It's like it's a lot easier to fight through any tiredness or exhaustion you're feeling, because you're like, my gosh, we're rolling. It's just a little easier to push yourself in those situations. And, I think it was a combination. I did think Notre Dame clearly looked fatigued, but they also just looked really frustrated that final 4 minutes or so of the game. And again, hats off to Penn State. Jeff Tambroni has done obviously a terrific job. A lot of interesting storylines. Of course, he came to Penn State from Cornell. Has, I think, unquestionably the best team in terms of what they've been able to accomplish to this point. Just one loss on the entire season. Of course, that one loss happened to be to Penn State back on March 8th at Cornell. Penn State winning in overtime. I think it was 13-12 or 14-13, but it was a wild game, great game. That's the only loss Cornell has had all season, though. So Penn State, again, it's Penn State looks at that and says, hey, we know we can beat them. We already did it, and we're coming off, maybe the best quarter and a half that anybody in lacrosse has played this season. So confidence has to be soaring high, feeling good about their chances and all of that. From the Cornell side, they have to be chomping at the bit. Listen, we have the best team in the country, and now we get a chance to avenge our only loss and prove that we are, in fact, unquestionably the best team, and we beat everybody on our schedule. Like, that's the way that they have to be looking at this. I think it's going to be just a fantastic game on Saturday. I think much like the Notre Dame game, and really the Saturday quarterfinal matchups were both 1-goal games. Just great lacrosse. I think this game Saturday is going to be right along those lines. These teams are both obviously playing. You're not getting to the Final Four without playing great lacrosse, but I think they're both riding a wave of momentum, a lot of confidence. And I just think it's going to be great for the sport from Penn State's perspective. Obviously, what an opportunity here to try to win a first ever men's lacrosse national championship. And then, as you said, Maryland and Syracuse, two of the historic
blue bloods,
powers in men's lacrosse. Think Duke, Kansas, or Duke, North Carolina in basketball. Think Alabama, Notre Dame, or USC, Texas that we had a few years ago in football. Like, it's that type of a matchup. It's going to be fun.
That's where the game was important for our whole youth. The only people who really played it were upstate New York, Long Island, and Maryland area, the Baltimore region. if you recall. Now it's worldwide, countrywide, man.
Yeah.
So I got to go old school, man. So, when I was Division III coach, I lived at the University of Maryland. I coached at Catholic University. The weekend I moved down to College Park they used to have the Final Four weekend at Maryland every year.
Yeah.
Every year. So Memorial Day weekend has always been a Final Four weekend for lacrosse. So everybody and their mother involved with lacrosse is in College Park. And that's the weekend I moved down there to Maryland. And I was like, man, this is crazy. I had lacrosse friends and stuff like that from Penn State, but I never really realized it was important. And then specifically Maryland, Syracuse. Yeah. Who's the other? Towson is another one down there.
Yeah.
Very, very good. So that was my welcome to college lacrosse, is living down in Maryland. I went to the games that weekend. I was like sitting there. I was like, this is really cool. So I went for the next 4 or 5 years because I always used to work my way back to Maryland. And when I left that College Park apartment house, I think a year later, I came back from living in Richmond, and I stayed at the house where I was living before with a friend of mine. My car got stolen. That's
really?
Yeah, the lacrosse weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, I woke up on Sunday morning. I'm on, and they're like, man, I thought you went to the game. I was like, nah, man, I'm not going to the game. I'm heading. He goes, how you getting home? Your car ain't here. And I was like, wait a minute. I didn't drive last night. I was like, the car never left the driveway, and it's like, it ain't out there. Yeah, that was the last time I saw my Ford Bronco.
Wow.
My baby. It's gone. It was gone.
That's a little nuts.
It was stolen. What?
Oh.
Well, I will have to say this because it was the same weekend my younger sister got in a car accident. My younger brother was in Penn State, and he was down at the saloon, and he stepped on a pint glass, and a shard went through his flip-flop into his heel. He had to get stitches. God. His now wife, current girlfriend then, was walking at this same of a deck, and there was a missing step, and she broke her leg. So 4 of us, me, my little brother, my little sister, and now my sister-in-law, all had like life-changing, events in the same weekend, the same day, everything. Funny, man, but also crazy. Yeah, so I had to jump from College Park, Maryland, to get back to the Philadelphia area. And this knocked me on my butt for a while, but I was on vacation. College football, I got the whole month of June and half of July off. So that was my 6-week vacation. It was like, that was the college football, like, okay, go away. Yeah. Go work football camps, go make some supplementary income stuff. Everything I owned was in that Bronco. My golf clubs, my clothing. Thank God I didn't have my dog. I hadn't gotten him yet. Everything I had in there, I had just, this is how crazy it is. Under Armour had just started. And Kevin Plank, the owner, was Craig Fitzgerald, my best friend, college roommate. So I've known Plank since the early 90s, mid-90s. So I was in his then storage room, which was nothing more than a storage shed, and he was making the clothing in Grandma's basement. I'm not lying to you. That's how fast or soon I was in on the Under Armour thing with it. And I had Under Armour shirts and T-shirts, and it was the first year that they ever had made underwear. I bought like 6 pair of them, and then everything I had in that truck was in a box from Under Armour, stolen. It was in the car. And I had to make an insurance claim on it, and I never really actually paid Plank for everything because everything had gotten stolen and all that stuff. And, he never forgets. Every time I see him, he's always like, yo, man, you stole me like $245. We're $300 billion. Shut your mouth. Different times now, man. Different times.
You're going to be all right.
Yeah, but the lacrosse thing, you talk about a tight culture in the wrestling culture.
Oh, yeah.
That lacrosse culture is a very, very tight culture.
For sure. Very
tight. It doesn't matter what level. It doesn't matter if you played 1, 2, or 3, Division 1, 2, or 3, played professional, played this or that. They all know each other. They all know each other's names. And, the only other community I saw that tight is the wrestling.
Yeah.
Now, see, the wrestling thing has the ears.
Yeah.
You have that in common. The lacrosse culture, it's all about the look. They all dress alike. They all have the same haircuts type of thing. It's like, yep, you play lacrosse. I could tell. But that's a little cool. I very much enjoyed the lacrosse culture. And I did have some guys up here who were. I mean, I used to hang out with the Fiji guys, and that was considered the lacrosse house. That was all the a lot of the Delco boys. And for some reason, Delco was huge in lacrosse because obviously it was close to Baltimore than the rest of us.
And again, it just continues what has been a fantastic academic year for Penn State athletics. When you look at the national titles won by the women's volleyball and the wrestling programs.
What I forgot was men's gymnastics.
Yeah, Final Four appearance for Penn State football, of course.
Yep.
And then just the remarkable run the Penn State men's hockey went on. Penn State women's hockey had a very good season. Penn State women's soccer had a great year as well. And now, again, to have the lacrosse team on the brink here of history, 2 wins away from a first ever national title, be a pretty special way to cap things off for the academic year for Penn State athletics. Of course, Penn State baseball will open up pool play in the Big Ten tournament tomorrow. Nittany Lions will take on Washington.
Talk to me here.
And then we'll face USC on Thursday. And if the Nittany Lions can win that pool, they would be into the semifinals on Saturday.
Explain the pool.
Out in Omaha, Nebraska. It's just 3 teams, just normal pool play. So
you got to play each team. But how many pods are there? How many 12 teams make it in the Big Ten?
Yeah, 12 teams in the.
So there's 4 3-team pods.
Correct.
That will advance. So they got Rutgers and USC. You said.
They'll play Washington tomorrow and then USC on Thursday. Yeah,
it's like picking up the West Coast thing. So.
Yep. So good luck to the Nittany Lion baseball team as well. Also yesterday, just real quickly here on the high school front, just a great game. Had it. Unfortunately, the radio station, the airwaves were down, but we were streaming it. But just an unbelievable game yesterday between Bald Eagle area softball and Penns Valley. This was in the AAA District 6 AAA quarterfinals, and Bald Eagle area and Penns Valley, longtime intra-county rivals, both with great tradition and history in softball. And Don Lucas, actually the head coach of Bald Eagle area, once upon a time guided Penns Valley to its first ever team championship in any sport when he led the Lady Rams to the PIAA state title. So he is now coaching at Bald Eagle area. So there's, some neat storylines there. Both teams with great pitchers. Baumgartner for Penns Valley and Albright for Bald Eagle area. Albright finishes with 16 strikeouts. Sierra Albright, Taylor Baumgartner finished with 12 strikeouts. Game is scoreless through 7, scoreless through 9. Penns Valley gets a run on the board in the 10th. Bald Eagle area answers. They go to the 11th. Penns Valley gets another run across.
Jeez.
And then Bald Eagle area gets 2 runs across and gets the walk-off victory. But I mean, it was just a great game. Great play after great play in the field. Just really, really special stuff. Congratulations to Bald Eagle area ultimately winning. Also, Phillipsburg Osceola's softball team, also in the AAA quarterfinals, knocked off the number 1 seed. Lady Mounties go in as the 9 seed. They had to beat the 8 seed in kind of a play-in game just to get there, and then they took out the number 1 seed, Forest Hills 7-4, and so the Lady Mounties are into the semifinals later this week, and Phillipsburg Osceola baseball was eliminated from the playoffs with a loss yesterday. We'll take a break here. When we come back, I do want to recap the weekend with the World Team Trials in freestyle wrestling. Overall, some outstanding results for Penn State and the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. And yes, we'll talk about the controversy.
Always controversy in wrestling.
Out of it.
Unbelievable.
It does seem like it, but we will talk about that and much more as we continue. It is our Tuesday edition of Country Kia. Goon and Ironhead show on radio.
May means warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see you in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia. Hurry into Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling, seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see ya in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
2 of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors. People invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back and rolling on here on a Tuesday. Goon and Ironhead here at Quaker Steak and Lube at 4 o'clock this afternoon. The all-you-can-eat wing buffet gets underway.
No kids. No kids.
Strongly.
No students.
Strongly recommend.
The kids are recommended. There's no students
here
anymore, so.
And enjoy that buffet. They have
will be stacked and dacked.
The same wings that you get the rest of the week. They are the big, juicy, delicious wings. And your favorite flavors are going to be available there. So check that out. Again, that starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon and every Tuesday at Quaker Steak and Lube. Great place to come on sports while you enjoy some great food and beverages and enjoy the best service around.
It's you and I. I mean, the way all these different flavors. I mean, every time we come here, we get a different flavor of wing sauces, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's not like we eat in Arizona Ranch every day for the last 4 or 5 years.
No, not us.
Not every day.
We wouldn't do
every
that.
other day.
No, we like to mix it up, and every now and then
throw
in the Arizona.
I personally believe that the buffet is great for that.
It actually is.
You know what I mean? There's a wing.
Like
I want to try
Louisiana
some different
liquors
wings.
and-
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't do a dozen Louisiana liquors or the garlics and this and that, but I could do a couple.
Well, and I'll tell you, those Parmesan ones,
That's what I mean. Yeah,
man, they are so good.
Different.
It's unexpectedly, the first time I had them, now I expected, but they were unexpectedly good. That first time, like, I'm not sure that's really like a wing flavor, but I'm like, I'll try it. And wow. Like, yep, no, that works just fine. Thank you.
And I love the
Thank you
different
very
rubs
much.
they have. I'm a mango habanero rub on my
There you
tenders, and it's fantastic. Now, don't get me wrong, blood pressure may go a little high, but it is what it is.
What's a little blood pressure?
I got my blood work back this week.
Oh,
from my physical.
Yeah. All good. Beautiful.
My wife looks at me and she goes, "What? You're mad at me?
How?"
Yes, exactly. She looks at me. He looks at me and then looks at how. And I say, I'm just a product of generations and generations of superior breeding.
There you go. It's just
My liver might be the size of the computer screen, but it is what it is. It's functioning properly. Everything is going well. The cholesterol, there's non-existent, is what the lady said. I told you that last year.
Beautiful thing.
Last year when the doctor, I had my appointment, she was literally laughing at me, and I'm like, I can hear you, right? And she's like, I don't mean it like that. I'm like, how else do you mean it? And she's like, no,
I mean
that's
it the way that you don't hear it.
And I'm like, it's okay. Okay, I have a sense of humor. It is all good. Austin. So he says that every year he has to go to his doctor, and he sits there and he waits for it, and he waits for it, and he waits for it, and he says, and the liver enzymes. And the doctor puts his chart down, stands up, and says, "Give me a hug, buddy." And that's how he knows that his liver enzymes, everything is good to go.
That is beautiful.
Yep. So he's to the point now where Carrie's getting there. And I don't know if your parents are like this or not, but my dad doesn't listen. He's just an old, obviously he passed away.
Yeah.
But my mom.
Now he really doesn't listen.
So I remember when my father-in-law's in chemo right now, he goes in, but he has to bring the daughter or the wife in because they don't trust him. Because he's just going to hear what he wants to hear. And I'm like, that sounds just like my father.
Yep.
And I'm looking at Carrie, and she's like, is it just a man thing? It has to be.
Pretty much.
Where it's just like, okay, you said I'm good. Okay, I'm good then. No, it's not what I said. I said it's not good, but it can get good. So we can get good, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I think we're all right then. Let's ready break.
I'll tell the story, and then my wife will be like, that's not what she said at all.
Yep.
Not what Dr. K. Pinsky said. Nope, not at all.
It is amazing how two people can sit there, listen to the same thing, hear the same thing, and have completely indifferent, wildly different interpretations of what
I get in the car, I start texting my buddy, like,
the
yo,
point
bro.
was. Yeah.
Meanwhile, my wife's on the phone with her mother. She goes, oh, jeez. Oh, my God. It's not good. It's not good. I'm like, dude, I'm clear.
Oh.
Yeah, but I got my stuff and all that. And yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It's a picture of fitness, years and decades and generations of superior breeding. Yep.
Too funny.
Yep.
All right, first of all, Nick Sirianni does sign the extension with the Philadelphia Eagles. Not terribly surprising. Got through some rough patches in terms of how he interacts. That was the big story for a little while with fans and whatnot. But
I'm with you.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's a results-oriented business, and the results have been very, very good.
Yeah,
obviously for Nick Sirianni, and we've talked about this. I do think there are some folks get caught up. And by the way, I'm not saying oh yeah, it's great to have your head coach or any face of the organization getting into yelling matches with fans. But I also, James Franklin's done that a few times, more than a few times here.
I wish he wouldn't, though.
And
I just don't like it.
I'm with you as far as it goes.
The optics.
Also, though, I get it. I also, though, yes, on one hand, I wish you just ignore it altogether. I'm with you. On the other hand, I do not like the growing sense of entitlement that fans seem to think they have to say anything. And there is a difference.
It's Western PA thing, Jeff.
There is some wonderful good heckling that can occur at the major league level. And I think if you are creative with it, if you have some fun, like you can get the guy that you're heckling to chuckle a little bit. Like that is, to me, that is sports. That should be part of it. That should be fun.
I agree.
Now, if you're heckling Little League umpires or high school basketball officials,
they deserve it.
You need to check yourself and perhaps maybe escort yourself out before somebody else does it.
Can I give you my highlight ever?
Sure.
Spike's game like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
There was a play at the plate, and it was like, it was a rather easy call.
Yeah.
He was safe. And the umpire brings a hammer down, calls him out, has like this big show. And I'm like, yo, Blue, it's not about you out there. It's about the players. And he got all mad. He looked at me, and everybody behind me is laughing. I got to look. So I felt like I was a guy. I got it pretty good there.
Yeah.
He had all theatrical on his out call. It's like, yeah, you did. Relax, man.
Yeah.
It's not about you, man.
But
I'm with you. It's a Western PA influence.
I think there's a little too much sometimes of the, hey, I can say anything I want to these athletes or players because I know they're not supposed to respond at all. Well, I kind of see that both ways. Regardless of all of that, I will say I do think that sometimes folks want like a certain personality or a certain, man, I want my coach to be this. As I'm just telling you, I think there are all kinds of personalities, all kinds of coaching styles that can work and can be effective. I think the most important thing is, but there's three things really, but authenticity. If you are not a yeller and you come in and you think that, well, I have to yell to be a head coach, they're going to pick up on it. They're going to figure it out. Now, if you are a yeller and you're like, I'm just always going to control myself, well, that's going to be picked up on it as well. Like, be you. Be what works for you. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that any coach works with any style. Like, you can be true to yourself, and it turns out, yeah, you're just not an effective coach. So I'm not saying that, you know, you are a good coach if you're a yeller or not, or if you're true to yourself. You might be true to yourself and you're not a good coach. You're not a big time communicator, those are the two things. You need to communicate and be organized. And again, be true to yourself. It's like, hey, I'm a cerebral coach. We're going to do this on a cerebral level, or I'm an emotional coach. We're going to do this on an emotional level. Either can be effective, can be, but you've got to communicate and you've got to be organized.
And you have to know your players.
Well,
I mean, I truly believe that.
No,
if you're
I'm
a yeller
with
and a screamer, and you got a guy who does not react well to it, you better hit that with kid gloves. That's just
that's a good point, especially in the world we're living in now. That's fair. You need to be able to, yes.
I had this conversation there with somebody. We were talking
hit the player where they're at,
like guys at
their level.
I went to college with and stuff like that. I mean, there was guys who have never had a male influence in their life yell at them. And some of them did not handle that well.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
What we were talking about is what, like, myself, Marco, both came from loud, overbearing mothers and fathers. So the old man knew what he could say. I've talked a lot about that, about how he knew who he could push around, knowing it wasn't going to affect because it's going to go in one ear and out the other. And, I'll understand the point of what you're saying, but there's some guys who just couldn't get that.
Yeah.
And the coach has got to read that, and that's like you're talking about a coach. You're talking about a guy who's just very cerebral. I mean, look who's on your shirt right there, and that's Cale. I mean, do you ever see him get upset and yell and scream and all?
Yes.
Really?
Not very often.
And do the guys just literally like pucker up like when Dad started yelling when you were a kid?
I have seen it, but it is not often.
Really?
And again, it takes more than a little something to get him.
Was it internally? Was it something that happened on the outside that he was mad at a referee, an opposing coach? Was it in-house stuff? Okay.
Internal. Now, he's been upset with officials as well. But anyways, Sirianni, I just think is obviously he's earned a contract extension at this point. You win a Super Bowl, that ought to be pretty much automatic. But I also think, part of it too is that you hope with anybody in any job that you keep learning, that you keep evolving. It's not that, okay, you won a championship and it worked.
Every team's different.
Right. Every team's different, but also like you should continue to grow. All right, man, this worked, this didn't work. I shouldn't have done that. I should have done this. And again, that's with any human being. Like, hopefully we're all at least trying to get a little smarter, trying to learn from experiences, good and bad, what works and doesn't work. And I think
you don't go home after every show and say what you did well, what you didn't do well.
Nah, I trash it, put it in the trash heap. What do I care?
I'm with you. I know exactly what you're saying.
But so I think Sirianni, it makes a ton of sense that he's re-signed, and I think it's a good fit, obviously, for the Eagles and for him. And I think again, they are in a really, really good spot going into the upcoming season.
I'll get back to Sirianni, but I do have to say this about Joe. That Joe, you were in enough squad meetings and media meetings where he was always writing stuff down, and all of his notes were saved. He had a big filing cabinet at the house, and and under each season he had his little notebooks in there. And I can just imagine, like you're talking about, like I know I've talked about it before, like something as stupid as we had a preseason one time when it was just raining every day. We could not get outside. You practice and you don't want to be on turf all the time. One, it destroys your legs, and two is, it causes injury, and three is that you need to play in the elements a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and then Spider looked at me and he's like, "You don't think the old man has gone through one of these before?" And he goes, "The old man's probably been through it 5 times. He's at home right now, going through like something like we would have a computer system to say cold wet day in training camp, and it would all pop up of all his notes and all. But he had his filing cabinet. I'm sure that he had filed all season stuff, and he'd be like, "What year was that? 50, 67?" And he'd go back and look at his notes and what they would do, how they would handle the practice, how they would handle something. And it was always amazing to me how he did that. What to do good today, what to do bad.
Yeah.
What can I do better? What should I do a little bit less? How did I handle this? How would I handle this going forward? And that was, to me, he was amazing that way. And you got to love him for it. So back to Sirianni. I believe this is going to be his 5th year, and he's been to 2 Super Bowls. I don't think that's been
hyped up enough.
No, and I don't think I don't think it's been done before. I know Switzer did it as a rookie. But it really, again, was that Switzer's team in 1995? The answer is hell no. They were already loaded for bear. You could have coached that Cowboys team. But he did not go back to a second one. He won the one in 96, and then that was it. That was the last time they were even remotely there.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to think is if anybody in their first 4 or 5 years have led the team to a Super Bowl win and a Super Bowl.
Well, and it is funny because in that I don't think I think if you just asked anybody outside of Philadelphia, hey, name the 3 best coaches in the NFL, I don't think again, outside of Philadelphia, that Sirianni is going to get named as one of those three. No. And I'm not saying he definitively is, but he ought to be on a bunch of people's list there, given those results and what they came off. And again, Andy Reid obviously is a terrific coach, and you can go down. There's a long list of very good coaches, but Sirianni ought to be mentioned.
I mean, he's got a Super Bowl young
as one of the ones that are right there right now in the NFL. So,
but it's pretty amazing, though, right?
It is
how he's won and lost the Super Bowl in the first 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you, I cannot think. I mean, I know that Madden did not have a long run in the NFL as a head coach, but I know he won a Super Bowl and may have played for a second one. But I don't. That's the only person I can think of. It really is. It's the only, the guy that I can think of who had that type of, in that short of span, had that much success right out of the gates.
Yeah,
and that's I mean, I know he had gotten a Super Bowl team, but he really didn't, because Chip Kelly took over for Peterson.
Yeah,
and he sort of busted it up and did not good things with that, and then. He comes in and changes the whole attitude of everybody and everything in that whole building. So, So I always, again, I'm sorry, I'm just yapping today. I always laugh because Buffalo's head coach is a Philadelphia area guy, and the Eagles is a Buffalo area guy.
Yeah.
We should flip-flop these guys.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is just across the board is interesting to me sometimes in sports, where guys settle, where they grew up, and in some cases where they cut their teeth in the profession. And again, I think it's going to be, again, there's a ton of really interesting storylines with this lacrosse game on Saturday. But I mean, Tambroni obviously established himself as an elite coach at Cornell, and now he's trying to make history with this Penn State program against Cornell in the semifinal game here on.
If I recall,
Saturday.
Tambroni was the head coach of Hobart Division III school when they were rocking and rolling.
Yes, no, his pedigree is.
I know it was. I'm not saying I shouldn't. I know he was doing that.
His resume right up there. He knows the game, and it was really interesting. The quick interview they do between the third and the fourth quarter. They talked to Tambroni on Sunday, and again, Penn State at the time was down 12-9 going into that fourth quarter, and they were talking to him about, just what his team needs to do. And he's like, we just got to capitalize on our offensive opportunities. But it was more of just a matter of fact. If we want to win it, this is what we got to go do. And, we'll see what happens. But, it wasn't like he was guaranteeing anything, but he just got to, we got to go score some goals and continue to buckle down on defense and not have the lapses. They had that brief lapse in the third quarter. And outside of that, they really did control the play throughout the second half, save for that, whatever it was, 2 or 3 minute stretch there where they had climbed to within, I think they got back to within 2, right? And then Notre Dame opened it right back up got it to a 6-point lead. And then again, Penn State started one of the great comebacks in lacrosse history. And I'm not a lacrosse aficionado. I like the sport.
Don't you lie.
Even growing up, I would watch it. The Memorial Day game always was, there was something really neat about it. Now, we weren't always around, but I was always aware of it. And when it was, televised, and I was like, just check that out. And Penn State has good history, not great history in men's lacrosse, but what Tambroni is doing is, bringing Penn State into the blue blood category. And again, I'm excited to see what happens. And Matt Traynor is that is the guy that is that next level. Hey, I'm going to pull the rest of the team along with me. And he basically did. Now, it wasn't just solely him, but he really did kind of take over that
finisher,
game
man,
in the second half and get Penn State right back in the thick of it. But again, there's a lot of different ways you can coach and be effective, and there's but you got to have the players, and that's the one thing. I was joking around this before. It's like, well, Don Kelly's warm welcome in Pittsburgh is now over. They're 3-7. But again, you take whoever, Joe Torre or whoever you think is the greatest manager in the history of baseball, you give them this lineup.
Nope.
They're not going out there and winning playoff games, folks.
Yeah, I mean,
not getting the roster to the play.
I'm not just calling out the Pirates head coach, but I mean, most coaches fail before they succeed.
Oh, for sure.
Now, you said Joe Torre. I mean, Joe Torre was the manager of the Braves when they stunk for decades.
Yeah. No, and again, it's all you keep learning, you keep grinding away, and you keep. And with any team sport, right? We talk about this a lot, but it really is. It's everything coming together. I mean, there are a lot of great coaches, and I mean great coaches who won't go down as great coaches because they didn't get the Super Bowl titles. But in terms of X's and O's, motivating the guys, all of the things that we think of, they might be even better than some of the guys that we think of as great coaches. But you have to have, an ownership group that is committed to creating the right culture and the environment and providing them resources. But it's getting the right players at the right time, the right mix, and and the coach is certainly part of it, but it's getting that all to fit together. And if you have the greatest quarterback in history, you have a lousy coach, and you're a defense that stinks. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have the greatest coach if you can't get a quarterback that has a clue. And again, it's getting all of that together to create the opportunity, at least, for a championship. And that's what I think is kind of neat to see here with this lacrosse team. And as we talked about with some of the other Penn State sports teams, hockey and football, and obviously wrestling and women's volleyball is you have all of that. It all came together. You have everybody kind of pulling in the same direction. And you're getting greatness where you need greatness sprinkled throughout the programs or the organizations.
Yeah. So, Jeff, somebody asked me today, and I don't think it's called the Stanford Cup. It's the Sears Cup. Is it even called that anymore?
Now it's the Learfield
Sports.
Cup.
That's what it is.
Learfield
Where are we at that?
Cup. We were Penn State was
because historically we do very well in the fall.
In the fall,
winter
correct.
type
in the
of
fall,
thing.
and then it drops off. Yeah,
but
they usually do okay in the final standings in the spring. I'll look it up. I want to say they were like 4th or 5th. I might
even
be
with
wrong
the
about
hockey
that.
and the wrestling
going into the spring. Yeah,
okay.
Coming out of winter sports, they were up there. But Yeah, there were a few schools. I
don't know who I was telling, but I was like, there's some West Coast teams who have like cricket, water polo, horse riding, and I'm like, they're sports, I guess. I
watched a little bit of the Big Ten rowing championships on Sunday, and Penn State does not have varsity rowing here, but it was interesting to watch a little bit of that. I'm not sure who ended up winning.
Well, who was it big on the West Coast, or is it like big?
It's big throughout. Yeah, it's got. I mean, I don't know what you define as big, but it's offered throughout.
I mean, Philadelphia crew is huge.
Oh yeah,
crew is a big thing in Philadelphia, which I never
sure.
understood why there's nothing. I mean, obviously there's no rivers here to be, crewing down. I don't know if we're going to do the Susquehanna. Is it deep enough? I don't know. But it's just weird. Where would we have our competitions?
Yeah, they could do it. I think either at you'd have to go a little ways, but either Ray's Town.
Is it a river or is it a lake?
They could do it on a lake.
They can?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
We'll take a break here. When we come back, we will talk some wrestling from the World Team Trials. And this time we really will get to the controversy as well. You are listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here from Quaker Steak.
May means warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see ya in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia. Hurry into Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling, seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see ya in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
2 of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
I'm finishing up my meal.
Well, it's what you do, buddy.
Welcome back.
Welcome back live here at Quaker Steak Lube. I'm the co-host,
good coleslaw.
Goon, with the host, Ironhead.
All right, finish my final couple of bites.
Good coleslaw. Good coleslaw.
That's just
right.
professionalism at its best.
What you do, buddy?
The World Team Trials in Louisville this past weekend. A very good showing, obviously, overall for State and the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. A lot of talk about, as you knew there would be, the Carter Starace, Kyle Dake bout. Let's start with, not every time you get a bout that you're anticipating, does it live up to the expectation or go the way you think it might. This one largely did. I thought they both wrestled just terrific bouts. They both are obviously elite guys and have
they're pretty good.
A ton of respect for each other. I'm still not sure that the move up is an ideal one here for Kyle Dake, going up the weight class, but he is still very good. He continues to learn and adjust, and I'm anxious to see what he does against Zahid Valencia when he gets another crack at Final X. But if you didn't see the bout, and I presume most of our audience by this point has, those that are wrestling fans anyway, it's a 3-3 bout. Dake has the only takedown, so he has the only 2-point move, so he is winning via criteria.
Good work,
because
Goon.
he has the 2-point move to 3 1-point moves for Carter Starace. So 3-3, they go out of bounds. There's 6 seconds left. Starace was in on a terrific takedown attempt in the previous sequence. 6 seconds left. Starace gets in on the leg, secures the other leg, drops Dake to a seated position. And time expires. There's a lot of discussion on the mat. The three officials ultimately decide takedown Starace. He wins it 5-3. Challenge brick is thrown. One of those uncomfortable situations. I mean, you like to have all of your guys in there, but still uncomfortable. And Carter said it is just weird having your coaches in an opponent's corner. And obviously they all understand it, that the opponent is also a fellow club member. But there's, in this case, Cody Sanderson and Jake Varner throwing the brick, challenging the Starace takedown. And it is a lengthy review. And ultimately they come back and they wave off the takedown. I thought in real time it was a pretty clear takedown, and I thought maybe even 2-2. I thought Dake's back borderline exposed. I've watched it a bunch of times. I don't think it was 2-2. I still think it was 2. I still think it was a takedown for Starace, but I will say we have seen over the years in both freestyle and folk style that position called both ways, takedown and no takedown. So I don't think it's like the most egregious call. Certainly we've seen worse go against the U.S. in Olympic and world competition. But, and I mentioned this on our morning show the other day, I tend to, if you take the partisanship out of it, my general preference would be that if there's a question, like, this could go either way. Generally, I'd prefer we give the benefit of the doubt to the aggressor, to the wrestler who's going for the offensive points. And in that case, it was Starace. Again, after watching it, I still thought it was a takedown. I didn't think it was as surefire of a takedown as I did. And Dake is over. I mean, he is wrapped. He has the chest wrap in solidly when time expires. Now, again, if you gave, and this doesn't matter, and I understand it, but if there were another 5 seconds, and there's not, every time the period is 3 minutes, I get it. Just saying, like, no doubt he would have definitively secured the takedown, I think, had time had there been more time in the period, but there wasn't. Call was made. Again, I don't think it was egregiously bad. I think you can call it either way, and I think it's a reasonable call either way. I would have given Starace the takedown had I been the official, and that's just objectively.
And there was good sight lines of the clock and everything, even on the replays and stuff, because I had literally seen it twice.
Yeah, not sure.
2 different ways.
Yeah, not sure about that as in terms of the clock and matching everything up.
A little weird though, right? Don't you think?
The what?
I mean, they show one angle on the clock is different. It's like a just a couple tenths. I mean, a couple tenths could mean everything, and it did in this situation.
Yeah,
and that they weren't synced up.
Yeah. As far
Great
as
match though, just an unbelievable.
yeah,
I mean, how many times did those two go at it on a weekly basis?
That's a good question.
And
And they both have learned from each other. And again, I think that's one of the neat things that goes on within that club. And it is just a weird situation. And again, from the club's perspective, it's a situation you love to have where you have two of your guys. So somebody from your club is going to be the champion. But it's still tough because you also know one of your guys is going to be falling short of the ultimate goal.
Who was in Dake's corner?
Cody Sanderson and Jake Varn.
Oh, you just who was in Carter's?
Casey and I think it was Zane.
Oh, crazy.
Definitely Casey.
Like you just said, it's just weird when your coaches are throwing bricks out against you.
Yeah.
Well, that's got to be a weird damn thing, man.
So, but again, a great performance. PJ Duke is just a next level great kid. I don't know. I know we have a lot of high schoolers that are competing at this level, which is still mind-blowing to me. I know it's becoming almost commonplace, and so it's not quite the story that it once was. But for PJ Duke to come in and really dominate to a large degree the way he did throughout that tournament and to win a spot in Final X when you are not out of high school yet is just unreal. And this goes to the depth again on this Penn State roster, which is unreal at the end of the day, because you do have PJ Duke coming in. Now, obviously, he has the red shirt available to him, but you have Tyler Kasak sitting there as, the wrestler who was ranked number 1 most of the country, finished 3rd at the NCAA tournament, and Mitchell Messenbrink at the weight up, 2-time NCAA finalist, national champion this past season, and, probably the odds-on favorite to win a couple of more titles here. And Kasak still has 2 years of eligibility remaining. So it will be interesting to see ultimately how all of that plays out. Marcus Blaze comes back and takes 3rd. Very, very good showing. His only loss, a really good battle to Jesse Mendez, 4-1. I think was the score in that one in the quarterfinals. Yeah, 4-1. And Blaze is also just looks absolutely sensational and really good just across the board. I thought Levi Haynes, the second period that he had against Dean Hamady, who, of course, beat him in the NCAA semifinals and went on to win the national title this past year for Oklahoma State, the transfer from Wisconsin. Hamady is just really, really difficult to score on. And Levi Haynes he figured it out. And then once he figured it out, he just came crashing through. Outscored him 8-0 in that second period, won it 10-2. And again, he's into Final X. And I know Evan Wick is going to be favored in terms of the ladder, but in my mind, Levi Haynes is the guy to beat here to get a spot on the world team. I do think it'll be a great match. Evan Wick is similar to Hamity, I think, style-wise, just really hard to get in on because of his length. Really good with the counters, but I just think Levi, I thought he was the best wrestler in the country this past year, but Hamity did it when he needed to, and hats off to him. But
I'll cut you off here.
I think Levi's been the most consistently good wrestler for the last year at that weight, both in folk and freestyle.
I'm going back to the high school thing because I don't want to forget it.
Yeah.
I guess my wrestling probably goes back to David as a freshman. Would David in high school compete the way that these guys are right now? Or is it that in that 12 years since that's happened, this is how far the high school kids have come?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's just such a different expectation now.
Because did David have the opportunity to wrestle in this 12 years ago, 15 years ago?
I mean, opportunity, yes. I just think that it was not many went outside of their age group.
Exactly.
And understandably, like that's not an unreasonable thing to do. Hey, I'm 18, I'll compete in the 18 and under. I'm 19, I'll compete in the 20 and under.
So those guys are not competing in those.
So, well, some of them are, yeah. So it's that's a good question. I think David probably would have been competitive in the freestyle front had he, opted to try to do that. I'm not sure, he would have been winning against those top guys at that stage. But I can't say that either way with
is that because that they're wrestling so many different places at younger ages that this is the natural progression
to it, and there's just more of a, hey, I think I can do this. I'm going to go give it a shot. And again, we're seeing more and more of these guys do it, or at least be very competitive.
There was that era in college basketball when it was high school to the NBA.
Yeah,
you're not really catching too much of that anymore, or is it just not? It's not really even looked down upon anymore. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. But
yeah,
this is pretty unbelievable what's going on.
It is. And again, you're going to have both Jax Forrest and PJ Duke in Final X here, trying to earn a spot on the world team. And then Josh Barr, I'm telling you, Goon, when he is healthy, I mean, even when he's not healthy, he's special. But when he is healthy, this is another one of those guys that's the guy.
Tell me he's a crazy, creepy guy like Goon.
He is just tough, man.
Nice.
He is just tough the whole way around. But he's another one of those guys that just loves the sport, figures things out, learns things every day, humble enough to not get caught up in the accolades that he's earned. And there's lots of accolades that he's earned already.
He's a redshirt freshman.
I really think, I really think he's just the next in the long line of really, really special kids. And he's special because he has great talent combined with the great work ethic, combined with the great passion. I mean, it's just everything you want is there. And it's just fun to watch him compete, and you can just kind of see him figure things out as matches go along. Yeah. And it's like, oh, all right, I need to adjust here, and boom, he adjusts and goes and scores. He just is really special. So you have, those four guys that won this weekend, and then you have Luke Lillidahl obviously already in there, Mitchell Messenbrink already in there, and Kyle Snyder from the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. So you have Dake and Snyder, non-Penn State grads in it, along with the four in Final X, which Final X, if you don't know, that's just it's a best of three series between the top two wrestlers now at each weight class, and the winner of the best of three series will earn the world team spot. World championships will be in Croatia this fall. And so You have 2 Nittany Lion Wrestling Club members in Kyle Dake and Kyle Snyder, who, again, didn't wrestle at Penn State. You have incoming freshman PJ Duke wrestling in Final X, and then you have the 4 current Nittany Lions who wrestled this past season in Luke Lillidahl, who, again, early stages of his career, coming off his true freshman season. We'll get another crack here at Spencer Lee. Mitchell Messenbrink, who, again, what more do you need to say? Levi Haynes and Josh Barr. So it is a very special time. It continues this special era of Penn State and Nittany Lion Wrestling Club.
We're getting past an era, buddy.
Wrestling. And again, 7 guys will go for
how many weights are there?
One of the 10 spots on the on Team USA for the World Championships coming up here in the fall.
I did want to say, but
Final X will be June 23rd, by the way, at
in
the
Newark
Center in Newark,
the center of the universe anymore, Newark, New Jersey.
Well, yeah, a lot going on there. That's
crazy.
For sure.
But I want to say, I mean, just, and I know we do say it a lot, but just look at Barr. He's 19. That boy is not built like a 19-year-old. He has been the nutrition and the strength program that these guys are going through is what is setting these people different. I mean, I'm David is David, Ed Ruth, all these guys. I go to the, to the match with them all the time. But you can't tell me that these 17 and 18-year-old kids who are competing, well, it's amazing. Their bodies. Again, this is what we didn't have. This is what I am convinced in any sport, the strength and conditioning and the nutrition that is going on at such younger ages is allowing all of this. And it's amazing.
Well, among the amazing things, Cale Sanderson, very early in his coaching career, we had a conversation about, I don't even remember now if this was on the air or just in one of the conversations in the room, but we were just talking about expectations and, try the difficulty for kids coming into the Penn State program. It's like, man, we do everything we can to take the pressure off, but they obviously know that, people are expecting a lot of them, and there's just an inherent pressure that's there. And we're talking about that, expectations, and he's like, but, overall as a program, what we should be doing is getting better every year after year. And I've thought about that, and that doesn't always happen, but overall, I mean, the program is certainly, again, they won a national title in the second year. Even since then, you can see that trajectory has generally been to continue to trend up. What is truly bordering on unbelievable, like truly not believable, is that, again, 2 years ago, they won the national title, 3rd straight, 11th overall, and they did it by setting a new scoring record. And then this past season, they win their 4th straight title, 12th overall, and under Cale, and they set another scoring record. And I'm not trying to get ahead of ourselves. I'm not trying to put pressure on them. But you cannot help but look at the projected lineup next year. And folks, not only could they, and again, a lot of time between now and then, I'm not guaranteeing anything.
You're guaranteeing.
I am telling you they could shatter the scoring record next year. You look at this lineup and you look at the trajectory now of just the individual wrestlers. And again, it's a projected lineup. Injuries could occur. All kinds of things could occur. But let's just take a look at it at the moment and what we think could happen. Luke Lillidahl at 125 certainly could be a national champion.
Pretty good.
I think a lot of people, including yours truly, if you put truth serum in me right now, it's like, yeah, I expect him to be the national champion next year. So at 125. So you have, at the very least, a title contender at 125. You have Ono at 133. I think most likely, again, this is projected, he could end up at 141 and some other shuffling. But right now, my guess is Ono at 133, national title contender. 141 could be Aaron Nagao coming off of the injury, could be Braden Davis, who still has a redshirt year available, or could be the incoming freshman Marcus Blaze. I think whoever it is, if not a title contender, and I think they would be a title contender, at the very least, a high All-American contender. But I'm going to tell you that whichever of those three, if Ono does go at 33, one of those three, whoever emerges as the guy at 41 next year, by the time March rolls around, will be in the mix, will be among those contending for a title. At 149, you have Shane Van Ness, title contender.
Not bad.
At 157, you have Tyler Kasak, title contender.
Not bad.
At 165, you have Mitchell Messenbrink, title favorite. At 174, you have Levi Haynes, I think title favorite. 184 becomes interesting because the question that many, including yours truly, have, and I don't have any more insight than anybody else right now, but 184, the question is, does Josh Barr move down and settle in at 184 for the upcoming season, or does he stay at 197? Either way, I'm going to tell you Penn State has title contenders at 184 and at 197. If Barr does go to 184, then what I think is going to be interesting is what happens where you have Connor Mirasola, then would be the favorite at 197, but you have the transfer from Ohio State, runner-up Rocco Welsh from 2 years ago. Does Welsh then go up to 197 and challenge Mirasola, which I think would be tough? I think that's a tough pull for him to make. Or does he settle in as the backup to be? And I'm not saying he's he certainly will wrestle off and he'll believe he can win that. I think Josh Barr. I think Connor Mirasola, by the way, is elite. I think Rocco Welsh is probably elite as well. So you have three elite guys there, and that's with Zach Ryder transferring out of the program to Oklahoma State, or they'd have four guys that were elite in those three weights. Again, regardless of how it shakes out, either Rocco Welsh at 184, I would think it's either Welsh at 84 and Barr at 97, or it's Barr at 84 and Mirasola at 97.
Jeez.
Either way, I think by the time March rolls around, you have two more title contenders. And then Cole Mirasola, it's interesting because I think a lot of people are really prematurely writing him off as a title contender. A couple of things. I think you need to look at how that weight class opens up next year. I think you need to look at the overall body of work here of Cole Mirasola. I think what he has done to this point is a lot more impressive than some of the Penn State fans I talk to seem to think it is. I also think he is continuing to adjust to heavyweight wrestling. He's still coordinating that move up. I think having another summer here to both work on getting good weight on and continue to work on wrestling as a heavyweight. I just think by the time March rolls around next year, I'm not saying he'll be the favorite. I think he's going to be right in the mix. I don't think Cole Mirasola is going to be automatically taking a back seat to anybody by the time March rolls around. So my projection, my anticipation is, if you were keeping count there, that would be 10 title contenders. Now,
is Kirk Clement?
I don't think Penn State, he's done.
I thought did he just announce he's coming back for a year? Or was that, did I read some bull?
I don't know. He might be coming back to the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club.
Because that's what I thought. I was like, there's no way he's still wrestling here. Okay, all right.
He's out of eligibility.
Sorry.
But,
that was a hot take on my part.
But Penn State, at the very least, even if you think I'm overestimating a couple of those weights, and I really don't think I am. I genuinely think they have 10 title contenders. I don't think they're going to have 10 champions. I don't even think they'll have 10 in the finals. I do think, and let this sink in for a second when we talk again about just the overall trajectory of the program. Again, in the history of NCAA wrestling, prior to this past season, there was one team that had 10 All-Americans in one season. Minnesota in 2001. There is I think right now, a better than even chance that Penn State will accomplish that feat in back-to-back seasons. Something that had only been accomplished once, let alone, I mean, we keep talking about the numbers are gaudy, what the achievements are heady, unprecedented, unparalleled, but they also just keep getting more and more impressive, and they keep stacking up higher and higher. And again, it needs to happen. There's no guarantees. I understand that. I acknowledge that. If this team next year does what I think it will do, and does set another scoring record, does get 10 All-Americans. I think they had a chance this year, and I said it going into the NCAA tournament. And again, that's the thing. That there are no givens when you get to the NCAA tournament. I think they had 7 guys, maybe 8, that could have won national titles this past year. I think it's the same thing. I think they have at least 9 and maybe 10 that could win a national title next year. And again, could and do are two different things. I get it. But if you get, let's just say, 5 champions, they match the record with 5 champions, and they get, let's say that
5 and 5.
Even just the other 5 guys just finished between 3rd and 5th.
Yep.
Couple at 3rd, couple at 4th, few at 5th. With bonus points, that team, again, would shatter the NCAA scoring record and would just continue to add to the marvels that are the Cale Sanderson era has achieved at Penn State.
Just real quick.
Yep.
How many knew of the 10? Because we're going to say we're going to get 10 All-Americans, be the first team ever do it back-to-back years. Now, if there's like 8 guys, and it's just like
They lost 3 seniors from last year's team.
Would be
so
7
Bo Bartlett will need to be replaced at 141, likely by either Blaze. I think most people are thinking it'll be Blaze. If Aaron Nagao is healthy, I just wouldn't roll him out. But anyways, they have to replace Bartlett probably with either Blaze, Nagao, or Braden Davis. Okay. You have to replace Carter Starachi at 184.
Easily done.
Again, that could be done by either Josh Barr or Rocco Welsh.
Gotcha.
And they have to replace Greg Kirkfleet and Cole Narasola would be the guy there.
So it would be 7 repeat, of the 10.
Well, and here's the thing. So it's a little bit. So so let's just look at that. You had Lillidahl finish 3rd this past year. He returns. You would certainly expect him to finish at least 3rd next year. Again, he'll be the odds-on favorite to win the title next year. But
at 33,
you have a returning 3rd place finisher at 125.
25, okay.
You have Ono coming in all likelihood, displacing Davis at 33. Again, I'm projecting him at 33. He could very well end up at 41. And there's a lot of reason to think that 41 would be the better spot. If that happens, he goes to 41, then I think it's Nagao or Davis at 33, and I think Blaze takes his red shirt. Again, this is just me guessing here, but that would be what I would expect. And then, again, either Davis or Nagao at 33, I still think title contender, Ono title contender at 41. But at 33, this past year, Braden Davis was 5th. I think regardless of how that shakes out, let's just, with my projected lineup, Ono, you would think is going to finish higher than 5. I would think kind of worst case scenario, and not really worst case, but if healthy, I don't think Ono finishes lower than third at 133. At 141, Bo Bartlett took third last year. I think whoever it is that replaces him has a shot of at least duplicating that third place finish. Not a guarantee there. I will say that's, again, you're losing a 3-time All-American and a guy that finished in the top 3 each of his last 3 years. But I think Penn State could match the production there. If not, I don't think they'll fall shy by much. So the
posse that's chasing down Cale Sanderson and the Lions ain't really catching up much this year.
So, we'll see. Shane Van Ness at 149. Again, took third last year. I don't envision him finishing worse than that. I think very likely that he at least is in the finals, if not winning the title next year. Same thing at 157 with Tyler Kasak. Mitchell Messenbrink can't do better than he did a year ago.
I can't believe what they did.
But, maybe could score more bonus points. But, he's not going to do better than a first-place finish. But the expectation would be that he matches that. I know there's been some speculation, and we'll see. It could happen, I guess, where Messenbrink goes up to 74 and Levi drops to 65. Either way, I think Penn State has the favorite at both of those weight classes. Levi took third last year. I think he'll finish higher than that in the upcoming year. 84, obviously, you had a national champion. If Barr drops down, I think you replace a champion with a champion. If he doesn't, I think if it is Rocco Welsh, worst case, and again, not really worst case, but I think, fifth place is the lowest I could see Welsh, and certainly in contention for a title and matching it, but potential for a little slippage at 84. I think 97 if Barr goes, Barr or Mirasol, I think title contender, top 3, and again, last year finishing second, or this last season finishing second. And Greg Kirkfleet is the one, you want to put an asterisk here because he finished 6th. And obviously that's what Penn State got team point-wise. Because of that, I think Penn State will at least match that. I think Cole Mirasola will be a top 6 guy almost for sure in the upcoming season at heavyweight by the time March rolls around. If Kirkfleet had been healthy, I think unquestionably a top 3 finish there. But again, it was what it was. So I think Penn State. So if you look at that, Penn State likely improves in at least 2 or 3 weights, possibly slips in 2, maybe 3 weights. But I think overall it's much more likely that they improve. And again, we're talking about not like going from third to first in 2 or 3 weights. But if you do that, those are big points. And if you add some bonus points into the equation, more bonus points than they got even this last year, which I think is certainly possible. Again, you're looking at a team. I had a couple people ask me, and I really hadn't even thought about it, but I've been thinking about it since I was asked. And these are more national foes. So they're telling me they think Penn State could challenge 200 points at the NCAAs. Again, they are coming off a record-setting performance of 174. 174, never been done before. That is really...
And they're just going to click up 26 more points.
Impressive stuff. But I will tell you, and again, it's a lot of ifs, and you got to be on, and everybody is gunning for Penn State, all of that. So, again, no guarantees. But much like this past year, do I think Penn State could, that there's a not unreasonable path to, let's say, getting 7 in the finals, 5 champs, and 10 All-Americans, and all 10 in the top 5? Yeah, I think there's pretty clearly an avenue where that could happen in the upcoming season. Regardless, my advice is to enjoy these times.
Absolutely.
Because we may never see anything quite like this
in any sport
ever again, certainly in college.
May means warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see ya in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia.
Wanna see ya in a Kia.
Hurry in to Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling, seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see ya in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
2 of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
We are back here on a Tuesday afternoon, enjoying the nice weather while it lasts, which won't be long.
Got the call from the wife today. She's up with visiting her mom and dad, and her father's been ill, so he's been good this week, so that's why she wanted to get home. And she said, I can't wait for you to get up here this weekend. I'm like, oh, my God, Memorial Day. The pool's open, like 75, 80 degrees. She goes, no, it's supposed to be in the low to mid-50s and cold and rainy. I'm like, all right.
Chilly.
All right, I guess I'm not going – no pool for me this weekend. Damn it.
Well.
See, the world conspires against the Goon all the time, man.
It's not fair, Goon.
It isn't. It's not a fair world, dog. What do you got going on? It's only Tuesday, so you're good. I was going to ask you, what do you get going on this weekend?
Oh, yeah. No, I had a good time last night. I will say the Jana Marie Foundation, my wife's organization.
I choked on that. Sorry.
All good. We had a good time comedy show last night over at Axeman Brewery. Some terrific music with Free Range and Eric Ian Farmer ahead of time. Just a really nice fundraising event. A lot of laughs. Tommy LaMotta was the comedian that performed last night. Just a really nice event. We have the Cub Scout advancement ceremony tonight. So our kiddo will be going into the Arrow of Light, which is the final year of Cub Scouts, and finishing up his, well, I guess officially now has finished up his Weeblos year. So they'll make that transition tonight.
So it's a Weeblo, then another year.
To Arrow of Light.
Okay.
Yep. And that's kind of the transition year then to scouting. And
this is where
I think that's where he's going to.
There was that fork in the road in Goon's life right about that point. And I was like, you got to go down this road or this road. I'm going to go down this, the sports route.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to combine both. Unfortunately, we have baseball games scheduled for tomorrow and Friday. Fingers crossed that somehow,
You're
some way.
playing 4 on Sunday, buddy. I hope you have the pitchers.
We get something in, but I'm not overly optimistic. And truthfully, with the way our luck works, so if the game were to get canceled or postponed on Friday, that actually would work to our favor because we're heading down for an event that my wife has to be at in Pittsburgh Saturday morning. So we're heading down Friday night. And if there is no game, we'll be able to leave a little earlier to get down there and get a little more sleep before the event. And then we are going to suffer through a Pirates game against the Brewers, late afternoon game on Saturday. And yeah, it's supposed to be chilly, and it's Pirates baseball that we're going to have to watch there. So not necessarily
division rival. You'll be all right.
But it's a beautiful park.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? Best park in all of minor league baseball.
The best park that Philadelphia money can buy for you, buddy. You're welcome. Congratulations. Just keep the door open for the Eastern PA peoples. Come on now.
Ridiculous.
I'll be down there in 3.
Again, Penn State.
First week of June, I'm going down to the Philly Pirates.
Penn State lacrosse again on Saturday. Noon start for Penn State, and we will have that game for you live, courtesy of Westwood One on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox here locally. We'll also have the national championship game on Monday on Memorial Day at 1 o'clock, hopefully, and we firmly believe that game will feature Penn State against the winner of the Syracuse-Maryland game, which will be the late game, the 2:30 contest on Saturday.
Let me just say, I didn't say his name yet today, but we have to. Pat Kraft. We don't want his job, but you know what? The hat is off to you, Mr. Kraft, Dr. Kraft. You had a hell of a damn year with this athletic. I don't remember one this well.
They need to cap it off with one more national.
That would be great.
Though.
But what do you think? Do you remember one this good?
This lacrosse team across the finish line.
A full year? I know there was like in the 05s, between 05 and 10, that we had won every Big Ten fall sport.
There was a stretch there where.
But we never had the spring sports the way we do now with the lacrosse. I mean,
baseball. Baseball does in the postseason here.
We had the women's soccer. We knew that. We had basketball. Well, I'm sorry. We had football. We had hockey, which was the new one.
By the way, quick note, Guy Godowski did an interview with Landon Tangwall in the Behind the Wall over the weekend.
Sunday afternoon.
And we are going to air that tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. So while I'm on that, just a quick programming note on tomorrow. Again, we had high school championship baseball action scheduled, but that got moved up to today. So tomorrow we will have Pirates baseball. 12:10 will be the airtime for the Buccos and their series finale with the Reds at PNC Park. Obviously, we don't know the exact end time of that game or of the broadcast of that game, but we will air whatever portion of Jim Galani's show with the Keystone Sports Network that normally airs from 3 to 4. We'll air whatever we can of that between the end of the Pirates game and 4 o'clock. We will have Jed Donahue and the Pennsylvania Sports Network now from 4 to 6 tomorrow. Of course, Jed is coming up here at 4 o'clock this afternoon in just about 10 minutes as well. And then at 6 o'clock tomorrow, we will air in its entirety Jim Galani's show. So it could air in its entirety from 3 to 4 if the Pirates game moves quickly tomorrow. Or
the way they're hitting and scoring runs, that's not going to be a quick game.
It potentially could not air at all. Likely will air a segment or two. Or maybe even part of a third between 3 and 4. But we'll have the show in its entirety, regardless of what airs or doesn't air between 3 and 4. It will air that full hour from 6 to 7 tomorrow. And then at 7 o'clock, it's just under a half hour. Landon Tengwall's Behind the Wall interview with Guy Godowski, Penn State hockey coach that originally ran on his YouTube channel over the weekend, but we will air it tomorrow from 7 to 7:30, basically, and then we'll join Fox Sports after that with the national shows. So just a little.
I looked ahead a little bit. So Tuesday, Thursdays, we're pretty good with the Pirates on our show.
On our schedule tomorrow. Yeah, the Buccos don't play until later on Thursday this week. We'll open up the 4-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers. Games Thursday and Friday night, and then late Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday afternoon. And then they make the trip to Arizona, dear Goon. See, I like the afternoon games on Memorial Day. Instead, the Pirates, being the Pirates, and kind of doing everything.
Don't tell me they play
year.
At 9:40 at night.
They play at 8:40 at night.
Oh, you wait all day. You're not even. Oh my goodness!
I'm not going to be waiting all day.
I know.
And it does open things up for our broadcast of the Penn State men's lacrosse national title game. Winning game against the winner of that Syracuse Maryland game. Could be an all Big Ten final between Penn State, even though there is no Big Ten. But it could be between Penn State and Maryland.
Big Ten lacrosse.
In the title finals.
There is. Because Johns Hopkins is in it. That's my favorite trivia question.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I love that trivia question. It's like, well, right? Is Notre Dame Notre Dame plays in the ACC in lacrosse, just football. But yeah, Johns Hopkins is in the Big Ten because I tell everybody that all the time. I'm like, what conference is Johns Hopkins in? And they're like, oh no, they're in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
that's the secret story.
Yes.
Well, speaking of that, of weird teams and weird. Do you know who does not have a baseball team in the Big Ten? Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound weird or seem weird to you? But they have a softball program.
Yeah.
But they don't have a men's baseball program.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird when I saw that.
Yeah.
But that's a direct result of Title IX. Wisconsin does not have field hockey.
That was the excuse used.
Yes. Yeah. So Wisconsin, see, with the whole numbers for numbers, all this, that there's nobody that can compete with football except for field hockey. And field hockey is not a national sport. It's more of a niche sport in the East still. Yeah, but they're getting to Michigan, getting to Ohio State and Chicago area, but Wisconsin still does not have it. So they don't have a field hockey program out there. So they had to drop a sport. They dropped men's baseball. Crazy to think.
Yes, absurd to think.
Yes, that a big university like that does not have a baseball team.
Yeah.
And I know it's not conducive with the weather. We get that. We all know that. Our weather's much better here. Sure.
And the good news is, speaking of baseball, State College Spikes are just around the corner.
Yep.
Home opener will be on June 6th, so we'll look forward to that.
Yeah, we'll have Walker on maybe next week or the week after. I know Coaches vs. Cancer is coming up, but then The Saturday of Coaches for Cancer is when his team arrives. And they have 4 days to get the team ready, and then it's like, okay, they're going to go out and play.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then June 6th will be the home opener against West Virginia. They'll have 3-game series against West Virginia. Fireworks after the games Friday and Saturday night, and the kids run the bases. Popular game on that first Sunday. I think that Sunday game is the first Bark in the Park game of the season for the Spikes as well. So that
we'll be there.
Is something to look forward to here in the Valley of Happiness Inn.
We do enjoy the Bark in the Park nights.
And we're only a few weeks away from the Lazar Lumber Football Classic, and we're going to roll our way right toward the fall before we know it.
I know.
And I'm okay with that because that means Penn State football is back. And
we need to enjoy a little bit of it first.
Very high expectations.
Maybe this time next month we'll be sitting there saying, I can't wait for football. Can't wait for football.
Indeed. In the upcoming season, reading more and more national stories, Goon. A lot of people are buying in that this is going to be the year.
Trying to keep it tempered.
Lions. Yeah, it's one of those things where, again, I think Penn State is going to be right in the mix and very much in contention, as always. And you need a little bit of luck.
Yep, you never know what's going to go wrong.
And there's going to be 3 or 4 other teams at least, maybe more, but at least 3 or 4 other teams that are going to be right there too. It's not like when you say this is Penn State's year, it's not like, oh yeah, because Penn State's up here and then the next year. No, there's again, I would say at least 4 other teams, maybe as many as 8 to 10 other teams. And it's like, yeah, there's
4 in the conference.
It's going to be just a break here, a break there. But listen, it does feel right from the Penn State perspective, like you have the coaches now. You have that experienced quarterback who still has a chip on his shoulder, something to prove. It does feel like there's a lot of things in Penn State's favor going in.
I love the chip on his shoulder. I think he does rather well with that chip on his shoulder.
I think it's going to be a critical element for the Nittany Lions.
I'm telling you. I mean, I know we like to downplay it because we are bullish, but I am on this team. I'm in on this team. Major League.
We are going to wrap things up for today. We will be back on Thursday. Until then, my dear friends, be good. And
May means warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see ya in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia. Hurry into Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling, seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see ya in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America. 98.7, the Fox.